we're going to make a $100 million decision. You've got 3 weeks to decide if it's a good idea, right? How do you spend that time? Well, you've got to focus on talking to the right people about the right issues so you can give management information so they can make that $100 million decision. If you just look at data, that tells you that's one thing, but behind it, we're looking for issues that might impact the deal. When you look at doing an acquisition, you're doing a historical event for the company. When you write the history, there might be 2, 3, 4 lines, and this will be on it. And so we're looking for information behind the numbers that are going to help us say, should we do this deal or not?
Yeah, a lot of times when you get behind the numbers, you may see a significant sales increase, for example. And one particular situation that I recently ran into is, although the company's sales had doubled over a 2-year period, when you really broke down into the details of that, it ended up that the market pricing was the significant driver, and the company was actually losing customers over that 2-year period. So really, until you get the details behind those numbers, you're really not sure what story those are telling.
On the revenue side, it requires a lot of attention, because when we're buying a company based on our expectations of future performance, that's often driven on sales and margins. So we care a lot about the key customers, right? Because it's Pareto's law. 80% of the sales come from 20% of the customers. How are they managed? How tied will they be to us post-acquisition? What does the future margin look like with them? What's the salesperson relationship? There's a lot of really important issues that we've got to understand, besides just the sales growth.
A very recent deal that we were working on, we got some information about the bookings by salesperson and discovered that 40% of the company's bookings were by one particular salesperson, and just 3 months prior to this transaction, the salesperson had left and was working with a competitor, and there was no non-compete or non-solicitation agreement in place, so now their most productive salesperson was in the same town competing against them, and they were starting to see the impact of that in their future backlogs. So understanding what's going on behind those numbers certainly can have a significant impact on a transaction.